Today we continue our class Kosher Kitchen, and we start with the stories about Chaim. And the first story, maybe we'll do only one story. Let's see. The topic is above suspicion, and it says, as a young man, so it's who is talking? His son is talking. As a young man, I had an interest in assuming the rabbinate in a certain town and discussed it with my father. As I recall it, I wrote to the community leaders concerning the matter. So his son wanted to be a rabbi in a certain town. Okay. One day, my father received a letter from a certain Torah scholar expressing his interest in ascending to that very position and requesting a letter of endorsements from my father on his behalf. My father responded that, as a rule, he did not involve himself in the matter pertaining to the rabbinate. So, meaning, as we understand, there is, especially in olden days, there is like some politics. And plus, the way I understand, maybe Chaim did not know that person that well, right? To write a recommendation, right? How maybe he's not God-fearing person. Like how, right? He said, okay. Well, himself matters. Okay. In the same time, same with us. Like we usually don't write the letters. I mean, sometimes we do, but very, very randomly. So, me personally, I stopped writing letters. That's it. No recommendation. Okay. At the same time, he sees to entertain the possibility of my seeking the position. Right, or my seeking the position. Okay. Lest the scholar who had written him suspect that it was through his letter that my father became aware of the position's vacancy. Right, and apprised me of this, which is true, which, if true, would constitute Hil HaShem, the secretion of Hashem's name. So here's let's analyze the story. Chaim's son found out about the position to be a rabbi in one town, right? And then Chaim got a letter asking for a recommendation, endorsement, right? How is it called? Endorsement, right? To be a rabbi in that community. So he did not know that son is also thinking about it. So and the rabbi Chaim said, I usually don't write the letters. Okay, I don't want to get involved in this thing on one hand. On another hand, he said that his son cannot apply this position because that person later on can decide, right? Sons of Chaim did not know about this position. How did he found out? Through me, right? Because I asked the endorsement letter, and now it's going to be Hil HaShem, right? And then plus, if Chaim would write endorsement letter, and then what this person is going to be like in difficult situation, whatever is it, right? Politics in old towns, and they would come to Chaim to resolve the issue. Meaning there is a Loshen Chara, and many times when people have this right. Contradiction, the community split. They both sides usually sure that they're right. And to stand between them, it's not such an easy thing. Okay, so maybe since it's short, maybe do another story. Doing for others. A Jewish obligation toward the fellow was forever on my father's mind. Okay. Both in important and seemingly insignificant matters. I recall how, as a child, I would look on as my father made his ways among the minyan to find every poor person a place to eat when the Friday night prayers had ended. He would approach the members of the minyan, asking each one to host one poor person for the Shabbos meal. Whoever he could not place with someone would come to our home for the meal. During the weekdays, it happened often that he would carry a pot of food to the synagogue in the morning and put it into the oven for the sake of the visitor who arrived in the town. So let's try to understand. So Chofetz always care about other people. All cared about the other Jews. So on Friday, I actually saw it in a few shuls even today. I mean, today, of course, there are most likely there are no such people. At least I take it back. So I have not been in a shuls when there is such a poor people they cannot afford meal. Okay, so right, Baruch HaShem. Does not mean that they don't exist. I saw very, very poor people, but not in the shul where I prayed. Let's put it this way, right? But in some shuls, yes, they that's what they do. They match the guests with who wants to come for a meal with the locals for sure. Right, so they would stand on one side and a guest, the potential guest on one side. This is on another side, and that's how they match. In some cases, they would do outside of the shul. So all of the guests they would gather outside of the shul, stand and wait, and people would come out and see whoever is left. Just invite them to their meals. Right, Chofetz Chaim would take whoever is left would bring them to their house. And during the big day, he would bring food to the synagogue. Same I think was done by Rav Yitzchak Zilber. I think by his parents. No, he did not have parents at that time. Maybe his mother was alive. I don't remember. So when the war started, so he would bring to synagogue the pot of potatoes. Because why? Because everybody knows all of these people the refugee from they were running from Nazi. They would come to synagogue, all the Jews. Okay, of course they're always hungry. Okay, so so it looks like I'm not sure it's continuation. Okay, no, we stop here. Okay. So let's continue with our topic. So last time we started new chapter number 15, right? So long-awaited chapter, Kashering for Pesach. I mean, we cover some things about Kashering, and of course, Kashering for Pesach is not different, right? Of course, I mean, there when we were talking about Kashering, we were talking about Kashering the utensils, but here we're going to talk about Kashering all other equipment as well, right? Equipment, for example, refrigerator, how you kasher refrigerator, how you kasher stovetop. About the oven we said, but the stovetop, right? The grates. What else? Microwave, all other things. Okay. And we on in introduction forward, and our topic is preparation for Pesach, finding the balance, right? So, and we said before, in this introduction. So on one hand, you want to do as many details as possible. On the other hand, a woman, if she would do everything she wants, she's going to kill herself. That's too much. Understand? And still, the mitzvahs of Pesach not apply to her. So she has to listen to the story. She has to drink 4 cups of wine. Eat more matzah, all of these things, right? So if she is going to be too tired, it was not the purpose, right? So meaning that a woman or whoever is cleaning, maybe men should also help to find this perfect balance, right? To do as much as possible on one hand, but start with only what is absolutely must. I don't remember what I was doing. Just I don't know whatever, but. I was working on something, so I would start with what absolutely must, and then I would see how much time I would have, so I would go back and then do a little extra, because I had to finish by the certain date. So it was very I could not first start doing the absolutely halachically necessary, right? And then see what else we can add. Okay, so let's see. So we continue this forward. So we're going to do, it's long paragraph, okay, but we're going to split in a few parts. And it says, this having been said, one must recognize the enormous impact that the Pesach cleaning has upon our children. The children see their mother's strenuous cleaning, the home, and worrying about chometz, and approaching the Yom Tov with sincerity and concern. This apprehension institute in the children yiras shamayim and reverence for the mitzvahs. If done properly, it teaches them love for mitzvahs as well. Those who go to the hotels on Pesach and rent their homes with chometz to non-Jews toward Pesach cleaning and preparation deprive their children of these lessons and may be paying a serious price for the convenience and comfort. As with everything in life, emotional and spiritual health comes with finding the proper balance between wholesome and serious concern about the approaching Yom Tov and the proper evaluation of our limits and the need to love and appreciate mitzvahs. Okay, I mean, this rabbi is very brilliant. As I said before, in introduction about anti-Semitism, that's I mean, in a few words he said a lot. So let's try to go over it, and we're going to explain. Okay, so again, this having been said, one must recognize the enormous impact on the Pesach cleaning upon the children. So meaning what? That if you don't take things seriously, if you don't show the children seriously, that it is important, they do not know. I mean, from where they should learn? From school? In school they learn theory. So many people know theory, but they never practice it, right? So the best thing is to see how it's done. For example, you can read about Shabbos kiddush 3 times or 17 times. Right, and then right, and you remember, and maybe not, maybe yes, but then you go to some righteous person and you see them doing this Shabbos kiddush one time, and that's it. You're an expert. It's of course it's you have to read and you have to know all of the details, because this person is not going to explain everything, and you're not right, and you would not remember everything, but it's better one time to see than many times to read. Okay, for sure. So these children see how mothers and fathers, they take seriously this cleaning stuff, this cleaning business, right? And how we have to get rid of chometz. So it's going to get into their minds from young age. As we said, I had a student, and he was good with kids, right? And he was babysitting, playing with children, and on the backyard there were many children, right? And a young fellow, right? And he said, I saw the barbecue, right? Barbecue standing there, and somebody forgot the matches. So he said, I was afraid that the children might take the matches, play with matches, and hurt themselves. So I decided to take the matches and put them in a place the children could not reach. So he said, as soon as I took the matches, all children started yelling at me. They say, stop, it's moved, so you cannot move matches on Shabbos. So he was very surprised. The young kids, he thought that he's going to protect them. But guess what? They've been learning from the young age that they know maybe on Monday and Tuesday you should hide the matches from them, for sure. I would say for sure, right? But on Shabbos, anyway, it's Shabbos. What are you, normal? It's muktzah. Nobody touches matches on Shabbos. So it's very interesting. So meaning it's one of the examples that children learn from observing us, and they're going to emulate. So if we take things seriously, they're going to take things seriously. And plus, not only children, also people around us. And children are very sensitive. They always feel with their sensitivity when we're not honest, when we're pretenders, when we just pretend that we're serious, when we're like a person is praying. And somebody told me, look, he said, look, I knew my father. He, for everybody, he, like in everybody's eyes, he was a big tzaddik. But I saw, like between the pages of the siddur, like when you would pray home, there's a cell phone, and he's checking his messages, and he texts like. So unfortunately, so this this person saw, and he got discouraged because of the father. I told him there is no connection. I mean, the father could be pretenders. What's the problem? That's his problem. But why should you follow negative footsteps if you yourself said that it's wrong? Right. Continue. Children see their mother seriously cleaning the home, right? Worrying about homes and approaching Yom Tov with sincerity and concern, right? So meaning that they see that. Children sense, right, on a subconscious level, somebody is hypocrite. That's it's proven many times, right? And they're not going to take this person seriously on subconscious level. This apprehension. So now, but these mothers, they're very sincere, right, and they were concerned with Chofetz. This apprehension instills in children yiras shamayim and reverence for mitzvahs. So meaning all children want to be like their parents, righteous parents. Of course, if parents not righteous, that's a different story. But righteous parents, yeah. So if done properly, it teaches them love for mitzvahs as well. So meaning never complain that I'm so tired, I'm that tired. Pesach again, and I heard it many times from Jews. You're going to a hotel. Oh, lucky you! Or some people go on the boat or something. What a waste of life, right? And plus they pay a lot of money. A lot. I'm not sure what it's going to be like next year. A lot. So what is it like? One day you could cost like around $1,000 per person. That's what they pay, maybe a little less. Crazy amount, like crazy amount. Like what you can do for $1,000 a day? Like what are you going? You're going to eat food for I don't know $300? How can you? All this, so it's waste of time, waste of money, right, and a waste of example to our kids. Those who go to hotel on Pesach and rent their homes. So in order not to clean their homes, they can rent in double quotes. Some people it used to be like sales contract with a non-Jew. How can you do a sales contract? So in this case, yeah, they can rent to a non-Jew. And if your house is rented, your apartment is rented, so you're not obligated to clean. So if I have, for example, I have two-family house, right? So I have two-family house. I live in one apartment, and I rent to non-Jew another apartment, right? So if I rented to him before Pesach, so I'm not obligated to check. I'm not obligated anything. And he wants to have a bagels and pita and pizza. Okay, let him do whatever he wants. It's his. It's like in some sense, it's his territory, not mine. So I'm not responsible. So that's what people do. So they rent in double quotes. Their homes, right, with home, it's with everything without cleaning, and they go to this hotel. I understand if it's like some businesses, like people work like non-stop, for example, pizzeria, right? Pizzeria, they work non-stop. They work, 7 days a week. How 7, like especially in the winter, by us, when the Shabbos is over, like 5 something, like 6 something, so they work from 6 to midnight. Right, so they literally work 7 days a week, right? 7 days a week. Okay, so right, so if a family like that finally they have a vacation and they want to go, yeah, I understand these people why they want to go to a hotel, but others not so much. Okay. Right, so they do this to avoid the Pesach cleaning and preparation, deprive their children of lesson, and maybe paying serious price for the convenience and comfort, right? So the people, the children would go follow the same footsteps, right? To have everything done for them. As everything in life, emotional and spiritual health comes with finding the proper balance between the wholesome and serious concern about the approaching of Yom Tov, and proper evaluation of our limits and the needs to love and appreciation of the mitzvah. So it's beautifully said. So basically, yes, she needs to clean, but must remember the dirt is not home. It's like if you have a tiles and there is some black spots or some, I don't know, something between the tiles. It's not hometz. Even if it was hometz, like a long time ago, it stopped to be like that. That's it. So don't go like with a toothbrush between the tiles. That's too much. That's too much. Okay, continue. If the reader does not mind the musings of old-fashioned Jew. Right. Okay. In the previous times, decades or centuries ago, Pesach was a time when one learned that one can make to do with less. Okay. Life was generally simpler, and the Pesach was simpler yet. There were hardly any kosher for Pesach products, right? There were neither groceries nor cosmetics, nor even aspirin or coffee for Pesach. Right, we're going to discuss all of this. One managed for 8 days with even less than a little, and was available kosher year round. Okay. There was a beauty to the simplicity of the Pesach imposed upon us. One looked forward to, and even relish the thick and dark baking chocolate, or hard, barely tasty macaroons. Okay, and that were the only treats available for Pesach. We're going to explain. Times surely have changed. Baruch HaShem, we are affluent and more comfortable, both year round and on Pesach. However, we pay price. We have lost touch with the simpler way of life. There is an unspoken feeling that we must have everything. This feeling pervades in our lives all year. Whatever product is available to a non-Jewish society must be obtained in a kosher form. Whatever is available all year around must be available for a Pesach as well, and we cannot do without. Okay, so it's a lot of information. So it's very interesting. Like people, the Jews that still living in some like small settlements, right, and or like not rich, so they still do like with little. Like they would have furniture from previous generations. Still good. I mean, maybe some working, some not working, right? But from long time ago. Right, but today they do. It's unbelievable. They all of the cereals, kosher la Pesach, all of milk, like chocolate, everything, absolutely everything you can get kosher la Pesach. Pizza kosher la Pesach. Like, why do you need pizza kosher la Pesach? Why can't you eat like simple matzah or something? Like, right? So today the world goes crazy, and that's why when they say how much the Pesach costs, the way I see it, like it's exaggeration, like because they are huge appetites. So for us, Pesach does not cost so much, right? Because we eat like simple food, right? Whatever we eat, right? Even meat. So we buy from a person who never raises the prices. It's right, never. In all other stores, they double or triple the prices. For what? They say no, because of cleaning. Like anyway, you have to clean. Okay, maybe add 3%, like I don't know, 1% to all of the products, but not double. what was the chicken? Like I knew that it's going to be for kosher Pesach. Are you serious? Like there is no chometz in where they do shkita. Absolutely not. So and many like prepackaged things like chicken, for example, they actually kosher Pesach. Not all of them, but in some packages it says kosher Pesach. All of the fish like cheese that we buy. Cheese also kosher Pesach. There is no special cheese, so they take the same cheese and double the price. All other things like there is no reason whatsoever, right? Whatever they do, and people like as he said, they try and look. There is a feeling like, especially in the Western society, that you need everything. You don't. You have all of the vegetables. Some Sephardim say, "Oh, poor Ashkenaz, what they're going to eat." There are so many vegetables you can eat. Like it's amazing life. Like the different, a little different diet. Like no beans. I mean, but we don't eat beans to begin with. As we read in Rambam, the beans are not good for you, right? So let's see. Let's read from the beginning. If the reader does not mind musings of old-fashioned Jew, okay. In the previous times, decades, and not centuries ago. So decades, not like, for example, I speak to people who are a little older than me, or 10 years, 20 years older than me, and they say, you don't understand what was here. Like 50 years ago, 60 years ago, there were no kosher food. Right, or to get something kosher was almost impossible. It was possible, but only separate stores, only like small batches, and that's it. So today, it's not no longer the case. Okay. So again, we're not talking about centuries ago. Pesach was a time when one learned that one can make to do with less. Right. So meaning, So you less. I'm not sure what less mean. But for us, like we just eat the different food. That's it, a little different. Same chicken, same meat, or same eggs you can eat. I don't know, fish you can eat. So what exactly you cannot eat? That for us, actually, like there is no we don't eat all of this kidneys. We don't eat anyway. Like this like pasta, like spaghetti, we don't eat like every day anyway. Like very very seldom. So I mean. The difference is not so big actually. Okay. Life was generally simpler, and the Pesach was simpler yet. Okay. There was hardly any kosher Pesach products. So today, like many products, are kosher all year round. For example, wine. I have never seen wine that is not kosher Pesach. What is the purpose to make wine that? What are you going unless there is? I know whiskey is different, right? Whiskey is not wine, right? But all of the wines they call kosher Pesach. All the chocolates, like most likely they're kosher Pesach. What is it? What can you add to chocolate to make it not kosher Pesach? So so they would put the stamp as well, unless they process other things on that line, right? But otherwise. Also kosher the Pesach year round, right? There are neither groceries nor cosmetics. So today they have a huge list, 7 pages, 1,200 pages of all of the cosmetics like that kosher Pesach, and which is not kosher Pesach. Okay. Even aspirin. I'm not sure what you can have in aspirin. So, but plus in all of these things, you don't eat them, and right. So it's not considered to be food. And your dog for sure is not going to eat aspirin, right? So it's not food, right? Or coffee Pesach. So I mean, in olden days, what do they taught us? If you open the new can for what is it? New jar, not can. New jar of like instant coffee. That's it. It's kosher Pesach. If it's a regular one, if you have flavored ones, like they say you might be some concern, but the regular one, if it does not say kosher Pesach, it is, right? Okay, but many like coffee. What do I know? The coffee that I drink does not have P next to it. It does not say that it's a kosher Pesach, but I think it is. So they can confirm that it is, I think. Okay. Okay. Doesn't matter. Okay, continue. One man aged 8 days with even less than a little, and was available kosher year round. So there was not a lot of kosher food to begin with, right? And in Plaza, all of the neighborhoods like a Jewish neighborhood did not exist. I mean, there were Jews, but not absorbent, not so absorbent that they would eat kosher every day, right? So it started not very long ago. Just so you know, there was a beauty to the simplicity of the Pesach imposed upon us. Okay, one looked forward to it and even relished the thick dark baked chocolate or hard barely tasty macaroons that were the only treats available on Pesach. So they still sell these macaroons, and they're from companies from like they were established last century. They use they make these macaroons from what? From a coconut, right? So they shred coconut and they add whatever things. Okay, so I mean, they weigh very like rich, so you can eat maybe 2 of them and that's it. 3 of them. Okay. Times have surely changed. Baruch HaShem, we are fluent and more comfortable both year round and on Pesach. So people have more money and they say that they feel like they should not miss anything, like cereal. Of course, the cereal, I mean, it was prepared from the matzah meal, but why do you need cereal on Pesach? Like, you normal? All right, cereal, when I mean cereal, like morning cereal, not hot cereal. However, we pay the price. We lost the touch with the simpler way of life, right? When people overcomplicate things. There is an unspoken feeling that we must have everything. People look for everything kosher la Pesach. I mean, for example, tuna. Not all of the company do like kosher la Pesach, but some of them do. So all year around, doesn't matter, right? So you can buy in advance. This feeling pervades our lives, right? So that we're really like under pressure to have everything. Whatever products available to a non-Jewish society must be obtainable in a kosher form. Whatever is available all year around be available for a Pesach as well. We cannot do without it, right? So even shrimps, right? Imitation shrimps. There is like in the kosher store, the imitation shrimps. I mean, looks like, I don't know, looks like shrimps to me, right? Of course, right? Because people that's what they want, right? And all other things. What else they have? This cheese, what is it? Like part of cheese, right? We learn about part of cheese, but looks to me like American cheese. So American, what is it? That's yellow cheese. I would not see the difference, but it's part of. So if somebody wants to eat it like a cheeseburger or something, right? With a part of cheese, no problem. So that's the problem when we look at non-Jews and we want to be like them. That's the problem. So continue. This is serious threat to the recognition of Jewish separateness and Misiras Nefesh that one must feel for Torah. Perhaps there is something wrong if our children must have kosher for Pesach, potato chip. Something wrong. Okay. Bubble gum or pizza. Okay. Perhaps it means that we may not have imbued our children with awareness that sometimes you must sacrifice something for Ribono Shel Olam. The adults are not immune from this attitude either. When we ask a shaila, often it is with a subconscious assumption there must be some way that Halachah permits me to do that. I wish. Do what I wish. So we're going to explain, right, it's the big one. It is the Rav's duty to find me some heter. Heter is permission. it is sometimes difficult to accept a psak that prohibits what we wish to do. In such cases, there are no recourse, but to submit the dictates to Halachah, to submit to the dictates of Halachah. This attitude is relevant to Pesach preparations as well. When we plan our Pesach preparation, we must understand and accept that one does not need every appliance on Pesach. Those that are difficult to kosher, or it is questionable whether they can be kosher, we should clean and put away. So that's what we do, right? Do we really need to dishwasher or outdoor grill on Pesach? How many days of Chol Hamoed are there to use dishwasher or grill? Right? Usually it's only few of them. They take you family, go to for a hike in a park and to enjoy outdoors. It's beautiful. It's like in spring. Right? Outdoor grills on Pesach. Is it really necessary to kosher a microwave? Although microwave is convenient, it is probably cannot be kosher for Pesach. Even I would say for everyday use, we don't kosher. For example, our microwave is like meat, right? So we don't have a cheese. Okay, so we have a cheese dish, so you eat cold. It's not a big deal. Or you can warm up on what is it? In a frying pan. That's it. If we have difficulty managing the 4 days a year without microwave or grill, we need to reevaluate our relationship to HaShem, His mitzvahs, and our attitude to life in general. These are thoughts that we should contemplate while making our kitchen kosher for Pesach. So, I mean, this author is simply amazing. So let's do this paragraph again, and we're going to explain what exactly it says here. Right, because if a person is too imbued in this physical life, right, so meaning that he does not understand the purpose of life, right? Why he's here? We're here only temporary. Okay, you need to eat. Could the food taste good? Yeah. Well, why should it not taste good? No problem. But when the people put all the efforts and so much money, tell you these prices, and people come in the show and you would not believe. I bought only 3 things and they charge me $50. Okay, you go like you want all of this cookie possible that you want, like but in a kosher Pesach form, they charge you $50, right? Because I don't know why. But as he said, we can do without many of these things. Simply not necessary. Okay, and plus we're going to see that on a Pesach night, right, on a Seder night, so you need to eat matzah. So in the biblical obligation, even though we will always say in order to say Birchas Hamazon, like in the minimum we say kizayis, it's 29 grams. It is true, their opinion, but Shulchan Aruch said it's not kizayis. Shulchan Aruch said it's kibbutz, it's double that. So 2 kizesim, meaning 2 kizesim of the matzah, of the round matzah, is almost like 3/4 of it. It's a lot. So I try to eat it 3 times or 4 times during the Pesach. So forget about all of the soups, all of the meat, all of the chicken, all of the fish. Right? If you eat only like according to like a higher standard of Halachah, so you're full, like you're overfilled. Without so you don't need anything else. Well, wine, yes, like that, and water to swallow down, but that's it. Okay, so again, there is a serious threat to recognition, Jewish separateness, and Misuras Nefesh that one must feel for Torah. Right. So separateness. What does it mean? Separateness. To separate ourselves from society at large. Right, Misuras Nefesh, meaning that to feel some sacrifice. I'm not going to do it because HaShem said so. Like and people instead of giving like bigger tzedakah or something, so other people who cannot afford, period. Right, they spend all of this crazy amount of money. The hotels, you can check the price hotel. Don't trust me. Go hotels on Pesach, and maybe they're already booking or and check how much, or last year how much it was. It's almost around $1,000 a day per person. So I mean, for me, it's like burning money. Right. Continue. Perhaps there is something wrong if our children must have kosher for Pesach potato chip, bubble gum, or pizza. Right? It is something wrong. I mean, kosher la Pesach chips. So those are only Jewish ones, only from Jewish companies. So and the problem is oil. So because oil and what they fried, it must be kosher la Pesach. I'm not sure what else could be in these chips. I mean, there is some spices, of course. What else could be non-kosher? Bubble gum, I understand. Or pizza, as I said. And the pizza is like golden. I'm not sure why would somebody wants to pizza. I never tried this kosher la Pesach pizza, but it made from matzah meal. Right? So they do matzah, they grind matzah, and then bake it into pizza. Okay, I don't know. Right, so all of this craziness. Perhaps it means that we may not have imbued our children with the awareness that something must be sacrificed sometimes. Right, sometimes you must sacrifice something for Ribono Shel Olam. Right, meaning that it is okay not to have everything. It is okay to say no to yourself and no to your children. Okay, we adults are not immune from this attitude either. If it exists, I must have it. When we ask a shaila, right, and I see that people sometimes people ask me a question and they suggest me the answer. What answer should I give them? Okay, that's presses wrong button. So usually I give him, even though there is a more lenient. So I mean, I'm trying to be objective, but sometimes it's too much. That's like they already decide what they want to do, and they just look for somebody who would agree with them, right? And so basically they suggest you to look at this way and in this source and that source, and basically to agree that they're right. I mean, that's the bottom line. Okay, so I don't. Okay, so okay, again, when we ask a shaila, it's a question. Often it is a subconscious assumption that there must be some way that Halachah permits me to do what I wish. So basically, people who not learned people, little learned people, so they say, there is for sure the dissenting opinion, so that I can count on. So even the accepted Halachah is like this, but me in my personal situation, what situation? Okay, whatever. Me accept my exceptional situation. I wish the answer be like that, and please confirm with what I wish. That's I'm getting the questions in almost in this format. Of course, I'm a little exaggerate, but if you take out the few wrong extra words, that's what they tell me. Right. So meaning so there is obligation on the Rav to find some heter, some permission for whatever they want to do, whether be it music during these 3 weeks, haircut during 3 weeks. I mean, if you want to, of course, there is always you can find the leniency and write the Manav Paskim to listen to the music 3 weeks, but it's exceptional cases if somebody is depressed. I'm not going to check if the person is really depressed or he's just bored or she's just bored or she's just depressed a little because she broke her fingernail or something. You understand? So people ask for leniency, and instead of just suck up and say, okay, that's Halachah. I want to go by highest standard. Oh, that's Halachah. I want to be what Rabbi Akiva would, what the wife of Rabbi Akiva would do, Rachel, right? What she would do? She would go do leniency, or she would do the stringency. No, the stringency meaning Halachah. So I want to do the same. Okay. Continue. In such cases, there is no recourse but to submit to the dictates of Halachah, right? This attitude is relevant for Pesach preparations as well. Meaning, right? So, meaning, Halachah says like this. So just hide your ego and and do what needs to be done. When we plan our Pesach preparation, we must understand and accept that one does not need every appliance for Pesach. Right, all of the mixers, schmixers, all of this. I tell you what, for some years we did without oven. Right, of course we would kosher oven la Pesach, but we would not bake for whatever reason. I mean, you don't need to bake right. But then after some times we decided to use. But technically you can do without this baking. I mean, the only thing that the cakes, when you buy cake, kosher la Pesach, if it's done from potato starch, they put so much preservatives in there. So basically, you can start buying these cakes even 2 or 3 weeks before that, right? In a special packaging, and they're going to stay fresh because of these preservatives, and they taste like plastic, basically, many of them. They look like regular cakes, but they taste like plastic. They have all of this cake, all of the, whatever we have, rainbow cookies, black and white cookies, all of these cookies, look exactly the same, but in kosher la Pesach form. But the taste is not the same. So my wife said, I want to bake, start baking. Okay, no problem. I mean, it's 17 times cheaper only, right? And it's much tastier, it's fresh, not without all these preservatives, for sure, right? And then we start using the stove. But technically, you can do without it, right? Continue. One second. Those that are difficult to kosher. So many, as I said, this microwave we don't use, exhaust fan we also don't use. Right? I don't know whatever they call it. Exhaust fan, like a hood they call it, above the stove. Okay. Right. So all of these things are difficult to kosher or questionable. You can kosher or not. So better not to go into this questionable into this questionable scenarios. Okay. So in all these cases, so should you kosher and go by the lenient opinion, or just clean it and store it, put it away? Okay. Do we really need the dishwasher or outdoor grill on Pesach? Right? Can you kosher the dishwasher, the plastic? Okay, I mean all of these things. Okay, so because most of our poskim do not agree, even though we said it's possible to kosher this dishwasher, but from technically, but practically we don't do it. Okay, and outdoor grills, okay. Do we really need to kosher microwave? To stove, yes, you need to prepare food, right? Stove tops, right? Oven, okay. So if you're going to bake, you can kosher oven. Although microwave is convenient, it probably cannot be kosher for Pesach. And plus, so if he the way he's thinking, right? It's not at the 8 days. It's not. So first, if you 2 days. You're not allowed to use microwave. Then the last days also, so it's not 8, all right, -4, and then it depends on the year. What Shabbos? It's Shabbos Holomoid, all right, or Shabbos with Yom Tov. So at best you have 4 days, Holomoid days, right. For all of this, you would enter this questionable areas and try to kosher. Right, that's if you have a difficulty managing 4 days a year, so it's whether 4 or 3. Just so he said 4. No, I mean tops 4, right? Maximum 4, right? Without microwave or grill, we need to reevaluate our relationships with HaShem. Meaning that you, my friend, are too much into eating, right? That if you care about this too much. Right, we should care so much about the books that we read and how much we retain the information, more about this the dishwasher's microwave. Okay, right. So we need to evaluate our relationship with HaShem, His mitzvahs, and our attitude to life in general, meaning maybe we too much to put too much stress on material. These are thoughts that we should contemplate while making our kitchen kosher la Pesach. Right. So I mean, he's an amazing author. Okay, so let's do one more piece. And now topic, okay, introduction. Okay. And it says in previous chapter we discussed the general principle of Kashering. The primary goal of this chapter is to provide a basic guide for Kashering kitchen for Pesach. There are many customs with regard to Kashering for Pesach, and it is beyond the scope of the work to cite each opinion and custom. Well, as always, one should consult with one's individual Rav and follow his instructions. Okay. In the previous times, it was common practice to kosher many kitchen utensils, such as pots, kettles, and pans. In today's affluent times, we usually purchase separate Pesach utensil to be kept for a year to year or for a Pesach use. Similarly, throughout the year, one generally does not purchase in kosher used non-kosher utensils or kosher ordinary treif utensils that were inherited from non-absorbing relatives. Most kashering done in Jewish home today is for the accidental use or utensil for opposite type, or kashering the kitchen utensils for Pesach use. Therefore, we will not discuss kashering barbecues, broilers, food processors, or plates. Okay, I mean, if we get to it, so I'm going to explain, like, right. So what could be done? Also, right. Okay. Discuss kashering or hot plates. Okay. Shabbos blech and a toaster oven, and as these are usually not kosher for Pesach. Okay. One who needs to kosher these items must consult a Rav. Okay, so I mean we're going to explain as much as possible. Okay, so let's do this introduction and we stop. Okay, so again, previous chapter we discussed the general principles of kashering, right? With the fire and with the water, and with pouring hot water from the klirishon. And then we were also discussing when kashering through the water, like when you fill with the water, like 3 times, right, for 24 hours, and then so forth. The primary goal of this chapter is to provide basic guides for kashering a kitchen for Pesach, right? So meaning what? So you need to kosher countertop, you need to kosher sink, right? Okay. Refrigerator is the easiest one. Okay. There are many customs that with regard to the kashering for Pesach, and it is beyond the scope of this work to cite each opinion and custom. I'm not sure what other customs. I mean, we'll learn like a straightforward custom acceptable by all authorities. Okay. Or like maybe not all, but majority of the authorities. As always, one should consult individual Rav for following his instructions. Okay, so we will try to provide this instruction. In previous times, it was common to practice to kosher many kitchen utensils such as pots, kettles, and pans. So as we said many times, people were very, very poor. So in generations, my grandparents, for sure, they kosher everything. Their grandparents, for sure. People were very, very poor, right? But they kosher because they had no choice, right? They had no choice. And I remember we had some utensil, and it's like from, I'm not sure, how's it possible? How's it? Maybe they bought from somewhere. I'm not sure because during the war, they actually were in different parts. Like they were not in the war, but they have to like evacuate from both of my sides, from my mother's side and father's side. Right, so for sure they did not take over the utensils. I'm not sure where they got it from. Maybe bought it. I don't know. But they say they have some very old utensils. Maybe they took it with them. I don't know. Never asked. Okay. Right. So meaning they would use for it from generation to generation, and they would kosher like for Pesach because there is no other way. In today's affluent times, one usually purchases separate Pesach utensil to get kept year round. So they have to be smart and see how much how many pots you need. Again, it's only 8 days. It's not like you're going to cook and recook. But on one hand, but on the other hand, even if it's only 8 days, it must be convenient. So don't drive a woman crazy with only one pot, right? She needs 3. Give her 3 different sizes, something. Storage containers, something, right? Of course, the problem if you live in a small apartment, where you're going to keep it. Okay, so there are ways to to create like extra storage place, like a space, like what they do. Entresol they call like above the door, right? Like you have a corridor, like not like right, not very wide. So you put like beams, you put some planks, and then you put some doors, and you use it like an extra storage space, right? And you put there all of your Pesach utensils. And today, as we said many times, they're so cheap. Okay, it's not going to be the highest quality, but survive for 8 days, for a year. So yeah, you can last it for many years. Okay. Similarly, throughout the year, one generally does not purchase and kosher the used non-kosher utensils or kosher daily treif utensils that were inherited from non-observant relatives. So what he's trying to say, nobody today is koshering lapis. Of course, I mean, I don't want to say nobody. Some people who watch us actually in Africa, many people, they from, I don't know, what's the country? Namibia? I don't know, whatever country is it? Area code 234, I think, right? Not the area code, the country code, I think. So many students. So I mean, they say they Jews. Okay, they Jews. No problem. So they watch our channel. Just so I know, right? So maybe in there if they are poor, so of course they would need to kosher all of the things. But for other people, we just buy new, right? And they say so meaning this koshering for Pesach utensils is out of the question, right? And generally throughout the year, so people don't usually don't buy inherit from relatives something that treif pot they were cooking meat and milk together in kosher. I mean, possible, but usually it's not the case, right? And in the house only if something accidentally happened, right? So, or somebody wants to use it for opposite type. So they had a pot and they wanted to kosher it for the opposite pot. No problem. Therefore, we will not be discussing kosher and barbecue, right? It's stupid, right? The broilers. I'm not sure how you kosher broilers or food processors or hot plates. So before we go with the food process, so sometimes it is actually possible. It's not to kosher. Apologies, not to kosher. But if you buy all of these extensions, right? All these other things, the plastic things, if they sell it separate, so you can buy. So the base you can keep, the mortar. I mean, the food never goes there, right? And if you only buy these containers, these attachments that have contact with the food, so you can use it. I mean, usually people don't, but technically, if somebody asks me and right, so they can buy replacement for whatever reason, I said there is no problem. Okay, there is no problem. Hot plates. I mean, okay, so for food process, we say hot plates. What's the problem with hot plates? The problem with hot plates is that some people would pay that put bread on it, like to challah to warm up. So I always say people, look, you wanted to warm up your challah, there is no problem, but don't put it on the hot plate itself. Put it in like aluminum container, right, inside, and that's it, right? So it's going to warm up to you, but if you're going to put bread like chametz of the chametz on the hot plate to warm up because it's clean, because you like it, it looks good. So I mean, you put yourself in this Shabbat, right? Shabbos blech. Shabbos. What's the problem with Shabbos blech? Like on hot plate, usually you cannot overheat. Right? I mean, it could be hot, but it's not going to boil. But with the blech, it's a different story because blech is usually on a gas stove, right, on a gas burner, and it's pretty hot. So if you leave it for many hours, it's very hot. It could even start boiling or something. I mean, for us, no, we put it only like on the lowest, low, not the lowest, but on a low, pretty low flame, only one burner. So basically, it's enough. But technically, if technically, if you have like a full pot of soup and you leave it there for a long time, it can start boiling, maybe. Right. So maybe the splatter on the blech itself. So to go to kosher blech, technically you can. There is no problem if you clean it, right. But usually people don't kosher the blech. So what we did, we just bought a different one for Pesach. That's it. Shabbos blech. Okay, Shabbos blech. We said toasters. I mean. Toaster ovens. I mean, toaster ovens. It has so many like crevices there. I mean, for like if people did like bagels there or toasted bread, you know, there's so many crumbs around. Usually people don't. They should not toast. Like, what are you exactly going to do there? Okay. These are usually not kosher for Pesach. If one needs the kosher. These items must consult Rav. So with this, from all this list, I would say maybe the most like practical is hot plate. So you can put if they allow to. If they allow it, so you can put the aluminum foil. If it's not what is it? If it's not glass, right? If it's metal one, the classic hot plate with the metal one, yeah, you can cover. Like, of course, you wash it well, and you can cover with aluminum foil, right? Because if right, so that would be kosher hot plate. But other things, in my opinion, you don't need them. Okay, so all right, so let's stop here. Very, very interesting, very, very productive. All right, so. So next topic is going to preparing kitchen. Right. Let us do 5 minutes break, and we continue with different subject and see the questions. Right, 5 minutes. Continue with the laws of Yichud, and we on the chapter 3. Right. The big topic is baloch beer when the husband is in a city, and we discuss all different people right in seclusion. And first one was what? 1 second. So first one was situation was I think gosbo, right? Somebody's a close relationship, close meaning for a friendly relationship. Asoka in nashim, right? Meaning a man whose profession is mostly dealing with women, right? And the third point is at night. Okay, so let's see. Baloch beer is permitted even at night, and even overnight when necessary. For example, babysitter overnight, babysitting overnight. The psychological fear of discovery or a deep-seated discomfort of a woman depending on the divergent views of our poskim is equally potent at night as by day. Okay, examples. A woman is permitted to allow a repairman who is reputedly a decent person into the house at night, even if she is alone, if her husband is in a city and could return at any time. right? The fact that the husband probably consent to allow a repairman to be secluded with his wife while doing the repair is not a reason to be more stringent. So just because, of course, husband knows what's going on and he allowed we had many years ago sewage backup many years ago, like, right? So we had to call emergency sources. I was not there. I was in different countries, I think, right? But we had to call emergency services, right? So next, let's do one more. Prutzim. So prutzim. So prutzim is this not good people. Prutzim. Yichud of a married woman whose husband is in a city is permitted even with the parutz. In the context of the Yichud, the term parutz, plural prutzim, refers to individual who exposes a lax attitude toward the prohibition of arise. I mean, I love this language. I would not say it like that. That an individual who exposes lax attitude toward the prohibition arise. Meaning, if he can get married tonight for only one night or a few hours, that he would get married. Basically, no problem. Who is there? She's married or not married, right? So that's the definition of parutz. Because prutzim are prone to disregard arise standards, Yichud's leniency are more limited with such a person. For example, in case of hadrei anashim. Okay, so we're going to see. Okay, so now we're going into details. Okay. Balach bir permits Yichud with parutz. Okay, so parutz this person of more low moral standards, basically. Even so, the exemption of Baloch bir permits Yichud with a parutz because a woman would not be influenced by the immoral behavior of the man in her presence. 1 second. Again. Even the exemption of Baloch bir permits Yichud with parutz. So in general, because a woman would not be influenced by the immoral behavior of the man in her presence when her husband is in a city. However, it's proper to avoid Yichud with parutz. Okay, so even most likely he would, right? Nothing is going to happen, but we don't test ourselves. Okay. Baloch bir permits a Yichud with a wife of even if the wife is a prutza. Again, Baloch bir permits Yichud even if the wife is a prutza. It is technically permitted, when necessary, for a man to be in temporary state of Yichud with a Jewish married woman whose Jewish husband is in a town, even if she is non-religious and is lacking and thus lacking the attitude towards tznius. Okay, so she's prutza. The prohibition of Yichud apply both to men and women. So somehow, like, all of these examples were from a woman's standpoint, right? But now we're talking about from men. Yeah, it's a woman, so she's prutza. But we're talking about men. There is men and her husband, the woman's husband, this prutza's husband. He's the city, and she's not tznius. Example: a Jewish repairman, so I guess religious, may do a repair work in a home of non-religious, culturally assimilated married woman who is at home alone, even if the doors are locked. For example, at night or in an unsafe neighborhood. Okay, if he knows that her husband is in a city and could return at any time. Okay. So basically, this kosher repairman with prutza, like behind the closed locked doors. So because the husband is in the city. However, if the couple is known to be extremely immoral people vis-a-vis arais conduct, there is a prutza. A man may not be in a Yichud with a woman at any length of time, right? Meaning, nevertheless, even in this case, he may be in a house when the woman's husband is at home, right? So that's crazy. Right. So let's stop here. Let me see. Before we see, I want to teach you one idea that I learned today, different class. It was very, very interesting. It's not here, sorry. Very, very interesting idea. So, and actually, part of this idea I learned from other books, and that was some of my questions as we're going to see based on these ideas. But one explanation was unbelievable. So here it's actually from the sources Mitzvot in chapter 23, and our topic is the way to acquire anava, humility, right? And Ramchal said that in order to acquire anava, you have to do it miat, so little by little. So let's do this piece. It's commentary on a commentary, so like insight. Okay. And it says, in describing the process of acquiring humility, Ramchal underlines the importance of undertaking these steps, this action miat. So meaning steps, meaning that the way humility, the way a person presents himself and in his actions. So the appearance and actions. Okay. So gradually and slowly. This is in fact the important principle in all areas of service of HaShem, and especially in the chapter character development. And that's in addition to what we say in Rambam, right? So Rambam gave us general direction, but here in Mitzvot Ramchal gives more details with more examples. So as we always say, if it's some sin, you have to stop immediately. No miat, no little by little. You have to stop immediately, right now, forever and ever. But to acquire the positive character traits, so don't assume just because you want it, just because you think it's valuable, so it's going to work overnight. It's not. And here is an explanation why. Right, we're going to get. Ramchal mentioned also at the end of chapter 15 regarding the acquisition of parashos. So parashos, we also learn when we learn about parashos in one halachah of Rambam. So Rambam in these few pages that we learned, so he collected so much wisdom. It's unbelievable. Of course, we try to explain, but it's much more much more depth can be learned from these statements. So, and parashos, we said, is abstinence. Actually, in Kosher we also learn about parashos. So abstinence, meaning abstaining from things that are allowed. So, and then even there, I explained, but he's the source. Right? So we have to do it little by little, and evaluate actually if I need it. Because sometimes person push themselves too much and then not ready to accept it. That's why it's little by little. So if they too much into material world, and then they try to be big tzaddik and with huge steps going, so it's not going to work. Most likely he's going to dump everything. Okay. So here we go, that the idea that I want to share. It is well-known principle that one who comes to purify himself is assisted from heaven. It's from Shabbos 104a, right? So it's we use this expression many times. So meaning that if you want to cleanse yourself, if you want to get close to HaShem, guess what? You just must want it bad enough, and do actions, and they from Shemaim are going to help you, right? And the opposite is also true. We said if somebody want to impurify themselves, HaShem provide all of these situations, all of the, not assistance, but situations that person have free choice. But listen what Vilna Gaon said. The Vilna Gaon commentary, Mishlei 19.3, writes that sometimes person try to improve themselves in certain area, but does not receive divine assistance. We just said that if a person wants to improve themselves, he gets divine assistance, right? So you see the person shine like standing like on the same level for a long time, right? So why there's no divine assistance? This occurs when he tries suddenly skip. Okay, I think we'll continue. Not sure what is it. 1 second. There we go. It happens. This occurs when one tries to suddenly skip a level that is much higher, right? To a level that is much higher than his present one. He is not assisted because this is not improper way of work on oneself, and such attempts can only end in failure. So when a person is trying to and as I said, unfortunately, I made several mistakes, like similar mistake. I overestimated people, so I thought that they're on much higher level because based on whatever they said to me that they were in reality, unfortunately, right? And these people and what I noticed, I could not understand what's going on, because I gave them the right instruction, and they said they follow this instruction and they read all of the correct books and do whatever they do, but looks like the way I understand something was skipped, right? So when basically what Vilna Gaon is saying, when person comes to purify themselves, wants to be close to HaShem, Gemara said that he's going to get assistance. Here, person is trying not to get assistance, meaning what? The person is trying to skip a level, so like a jump over, every other step. So right, so he's not going to assist. Why? Because it's not going to work out. It's not. It's guaranteed end up with failure. Improvement does not come in leaps, but in steps. Right, so this is the key point. Improvements do not come in leaps, but in steps. So meaning, get comfortable, work on yourself. You did some achievement, work on yourself, and make sure they're strong, and then only continue. And people say, no, I can do all of this, and people start looking like a Balchuva, 3 months, 6 months religious. They want to put black hat, and this shmet, the whole one pay us. Who needs this stuff? You Mr. Balchuva, you start with shaving with a kosher electric razor. Okay. Right, but when people are the exception, I don't recall many exceptions. But when they try to go too far, too fast, they're going too far, and that's why HaShem is not going to help them. Why? Because it's useless. Right? That's amazing idea that I never heard before. Right. All right, stop here. Many questions. So we can go to the beginning. Okay, so the first question: without mentioning the original sin, but mainly focusing on the potential of the first souls, and technically speaking, if the whole humanity was derived from Adam Harishon, okay, does it mean that another completely independent humanity, perhaps even in different characteristics, could have been derived from his first wife, since she wasn't created from him? Okay, so let's try to do it again. Okay. Zal mentioned the original sin, but merely focusing on potential of the first souls, meaning that all the souls came from Adam, right? So we're all connected to Adam. Okay, and technically speaking, the whole humanity was derived from Adam. Okay, Harishon. Okay, so far so good. Then from Noah and his family. Okay. Does it mean that another completely independent humanity perhaps even with different characteristics, could have been derived from his first wife, since she wasn't created from him. So I tell you the truth, I don't know exactly this story. I don't want to comment because I don't know exactly the story that about this first wife. Right, so I don't want to comment. How she was created. I mean, the straightforward story that we made the clip. No, we did not make a clip. That's in working. But in our sources in the Talmud, it says that she was created from a tail, right? From a tail, or they were born attached, right? So she was on his back. So when HaShem did separation, so he cut them, separate them, and then enclose the flesh. But about this previous wife, I heard some things, but I never read the sources. That's why I'm not so sure. Okay, but technically, yes, right? She would actually the original souls were from him anyway. But if she was created differently, I don't know. I don't want to comment because it's not straightforward understanding of Psukim, and it's not what Gemara said. Maybe Zohar said. I'm not sure. Okay, so continue. Next question. Well, what is the purpose of Ketores mentioning that every 60 to 70 years a spare amount of the incense would reach the requirement annual amount? I mean, deep secret, I'm not sure what would be the deep secret, Kabbalistic, but a straightforward explanation that when every time, every day he would take the handful, I think not two, but I think one handful, and of course the Kohen Gadol would take a handful of this ketores, and we must understand that all of this Kohanim Gedolim, they were different, like the different size in the different palm, right? The different hand. So that's why he said that 60, 70 years it was a leftover amount, right? Leftover amount. So basically, if it's only 60, 70 years, so meaning this size of ketores, when they would prepare for a year, it was pretty close. I mean, if it takes only 60 to 70 years to have this extra, right? So, but deep Kabbalistic meaning, I don't know. All right, so continue. Next question. We have a question about Yichud, please. Okay. What should do a divorced woman who needs to make some preparation in her private bathroom? She lives alone and also does not have any option that a shomer person help her. Could it help her to open the window and the door in her place? Oh, I apologize. I apologize. I misread one word. I apologize. Okay, so again, with a character reading. Question about Yichud. Okay. What should a divorced woman do who needs to make some reparation? So meaning some fixing, right? Repairs in her private bathroom. Okay. She lives alone and does not have any option of shomer person help. Okay. Could it help to open the windows and the doors in her place? So first of all, windows, it depends what floor she's. If she's on the 7th floor or something, or even 3rd floor, is not going to help her in any way. But to open the door, yes. To leave the jar open, for sure. For sure, it's going to work. And if he's this reliable salesperson, this repairman, I think there is no problem, because he would there is a different leniency. We said that this guy is he's concentrated on his work. right? He on his work, most likely there is no problem, most likely. But she can always step out of the apartment, right? Open. Let's say if it's an apartment building, let's make the case simpler. So she can go out, open the door completely and stay on this in the corridor. That's it. There's no problem. Okay. Okay, so next question. A question about Yichud. Okay, what is the line between regular prutza and a couple known extremely immoral? I'm going to explain. That's fortunately I know some of them. Given how a modest non-religious woman can dress in private, how does one know that she is extremely immoral? Okay, that's it's very, 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 very sad situation, right? That we have. Okay, so one more time. Question about Yichud. What is the line between a regular prutza and a couple known to be immoral? So a regular prutza that she dressed like this, and her husband maybe he's not very fond of, maybe he does not approve. That's one thing. But when the couple like this, so meaning that meaning in this case that still he might be very he might object if she does like crazy thing at home when he's not there with somebody, if she has a relationship with somebody. But if this couple is immoral, then maybe enjoy it. Oh, you had a good time with the repairman, tell me how it was. There are people like that, unfortunately. I mean, even in all the literature, we read about people like that. There is sharing wives, or have them forbidden relationship. Then husband do not care. They have also forbidden relationships. Right? This secular people, Jews and non-Jews. Unfortunately, that's it was started in the States. I think in the '60s. They call it free love. Right, so meaning that anybody can be with anybody whenever they want. Unfortunately, right. So that's the thing. So if you know that he's more or less normal, so that she would be afraid that he would find out. But if she's not afraid that he would find out, because maybe he would ask her for details, all of these crazy people. So that's So that you have to be very, very careful about this woman, right? So that's the first question. Second question. Given how a modest non-religious woman can dress in private, how does one know that she's extremely immoral? Not she's extremely immoral. Couple is extremely immoral. So how do you know? I mean, if it's good question. If they, neighbors, how they conduct themselves. Sometimes they forget to close the windows. I mean, crazy people and right. So, but some people we do know. So if you have doubts, maybe there is a problem. But somebody, if this man knows that a woman is like that, for example, he's a repairman and he lives on a block, so he has on his van or car this sign I don't know, plumbing services, right? Or carpentry services. So of course, I mean, and she's from the block. Oh, she would hire him. That's the issue. So meaning that in this case, yes, he would know that she's very immoral. I have neighbors like that. Guess what? From across the street. So I mean, usually they don't cross the street, but sometimes a few years ago, she had I think she's a little nut there, and she was screaming and yelling and cursing, and they were fighting. And this guy, I'm not sure how old is he. Maybe in his mid-30s, I don't know. But he would come probably he goes to the gym, and he would come with this tiny short. I'm not sure what is it called, like only like string skier, like a guy, right? To show like to show me, I mean, that everybody see his muscles, and he would go around like here. And first they have few kids, like, and then the Dora is like little prutza. I think they're Jews, unfortunately, right? So meaning with a woman like that, the way she dresses, like you always look away. So I'm trying when I go down the stairs to the street. I just trying to look at the stairs and look so, and who else is walking like on the sidewalk, so we don't bump into each other. That's it. Right. So I know for sure that lady, you have to stay away as far as possible. Okay. Next one. Rough situation. Say the wife lives. The wife lives with the kids for 2 weeks. Go to visit her parents abroad, and the husband staying home. Okay. She has a bunch of plans, which she assumes he'll be carefully. She has a bunch of plans, which she assumed that he'll carefully water and take care of without being instructed. Okay, but to her surprise, they look like more like a bunch of hay upon returning. Okay, is she allowed to scold her husband because of it? Okay, it's a good question. Is it responsibility of the husband's behalf to develop his common sense with regard to the matters like this for the sake of shalom bayis? I don't think it's his. Okay, so it's his fault. I don't think so. Right. So again, the situation. So wife goes with kids away, like visit her parents abroad, wherever. She's not there, and she did not instruct him to water the plants. And guess what? He did not water. But that's his that's what he was doing before. He never watered them, and it never entered his mind that he should. I think it's absolutely normal, right? So she should have instructed him before she went, and even call him like from time to time, say hello, and did you water the plants, right? So I mean that's only normal. Or she was taking care of the fish or something, like they have aquarium, or a cat, right? So if he never bought a food for a cat, but so how does he know? Maybe cat catches mice. I don't know. Maybe he eats air. I don't know. How does he supposed to know? So if person is not used to some things, so right, you have to tell him. Right. So basically, the way I see it, it's not like a reasonable to expect that man would do that if a wife was doing all of the work before. I don't think it's not reasonable. Okay, of course there is some, but for him to develop this common sense, I don't know. I mean, it's right to have common sense, but if it was not his responsibility until now, it's not. We cannot blame him. Okay, so next question could have on anava. How can one identify the steps he's skipping if he feels he is not getting enough siyata d'shmaya in this teshuvah process? So let's do it again. Anava again, it's humility, right? How can one identify the steps he's skipping if he feels that he is not getting enough siyata d'shmaya in his teshuvah process? So we start this. They started this book from the beginning. So whatever I just read for you, it's like from chapter 23 out to 26, meaning it's a top of the top. But the first few chapters was zehirus, meaning that the person must stop sinning, and they have to analyze. So if I must stop sinning completely. In one of the analysis. One of the steps of of the stop sinning. It was actually, it's not exactly the sin, but it was this thing. If I perform the mitzvah correctly, right, or if I want to just get rid of it, like some things, like people just, I don't know, they're flying, they just cannot wait. I don't know if I told you this happened in my shul some time ago. This husband comes to pray, start mincha, and instead of saying Asher Yoshev Yisecha, what he said, Aleinu l'shabeach. Like everybody like fall like laughing. Aleinu l'shabeach, it's a last prayer. So meaning, like what does it mean? It is laughable, but it's very, very sad situation if you think about it. Of course, he's a nice guy, okay, whatever, right? But he did not mean to entertain or make a fool out of himself. But Aleinu l'shabeach is the last prayer that in his mind, he wants to get out of it. So he, of course, he comes to shul because guess what? His father came to shul. His grandfather most likely came to shul. His children go to shul. Yeah, I mean, half of his children living in Israel, half here. I mean, I think most of his, maybe the youngest one still in the States. You understand? So, right? So, like he's like a robot. So he wishes to be Aleinu l'shabeach, the last prayer. You understand? So we have to check ourselves and start from the beginning. Again, if a person, again, I accept this was my short-sighted when I advised some people to go a little faster, and they were not on that level. I was so full. I mean, everybody make mistake, but again, to take a complete responsibility. Also, I cannot, because I take I may make my decision, my advice based on intake, based on information that I get. So if a person gives like his resume, he's the best of the best, and he performs like a performer of the performer. He's like Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. I mean, what should we? Of course, I ask you questions, but if they say I already do this and this and that, what is next step? So I tell them the next step. This question, I think I said it, maybe not. This person that fooled me, and that he's a big tzaddik, right? And he wants the parashos of the Shavuot, but something deep inside. So I told him Rambam. We bought him set of Rambam. Ramban. It's very deep, very deep stuff. It's not for beginners. It's for somebody who finished Rashi, maybe Midrashim a few times, so you have you know pretty good what is going on in the Chumash, all of the stories, all of the stories, many Halachos, and now you want to put more perspective, more like a meat, to add more deep inside explanations. So, and of course, it was above his head. He did not read Ramban, and he does not know what the purpose of life. I just found out the guy confused completely. He tell me, no, I'm doing good. So, and I work with the books, and people ask me questions. People ask me questions about what, what do you know? So he never forwarded these people to me. So somehow he's in Israel, right? So I told him you can send him this Rabbi Reuven Shlita's channel, this Hebrew channel, Rabbi Ephraim Shlita's channel, right? He did not send. He decided that he can handle all of these situations himself. The way I understand, is he Shomer Shabbos? Most likely not. You understand? Sometimes yes, sometimes not. It depends on the situation. So that's the scary story. So people of course, it's their fault. It's my fault that I did not check. I had to press a little harder and ask more questions to find out. People will get offended, this and that. It's I always try to understand. Are you doing for your own good? I mean, do I care what you do? Technically not. You have to understand. But if you want me to help you, so I have to ask you all these questions, and I have to double check. Right? So that's why people don't have the siyata d'ishmaya. Why? Because they skip the level. So, but Ramchal in this book, Mislas Yesharim, he goes step by step, and it's actually based on one Mishnah. The whole book's based on one Mishnah in Pirkei Avos. right? So and then he just developed. I'm not sure how long the mission, maybe 3 lines, and from these 3 lines he made like the whole journey. So and there is a commentary in this book on Ramchal himself. So you see like when our sages say this. Our sages in the Mishnah time, the word concise. Okay, concise. Okay, so meaning they would say little with a lot with a little words. Okay, but unless you see how can you develop this and how you can go back and connect to the Mishnah, so you would not understand. So that's the steps of Teshuvah. So we have Rambam here Teshuvah. I think on our channel as well. I think. We published it, or right? So there we go into each halacha and explain each halacha, right? Teshuvah and all other things, right? So do not skip a level, and of course, we always have to remember one more thing is about this. As we learn in the story of Yankel pushing the boulder, right? So HaShem is going to do in the right time. In the right timing, when the time it comes, it's going to be fast, like in the story of Yosef. So, but until now, you build in the muscles. You see, like that you'll be performing good. But again, if you don't feel the siyata d'shmaya, right, meaning not for a next step, but for a common situation, you have to go back and check. You most probably skip the level. Okay, so that's a very good question. Okay, so next question. Rough general question. I wonder what is the Torah perspective of luxury brand products? Okay. Even for people who could afford them. It seems to indicate overindulgence in materialism and antithesis to humility. Okay. Nobody said about these rich people they are humble. Okay. As the point of those items are showing their status. 100%. Are we allowed to view someone in a bit negative light if someone uses the luxury brand with the logos showing, right? I was talking about these people from different class, so I was saying about the people that's trying to show off. They would live like on a jacket when they go to the store, so that they have not all of the jacket, but more or less brand name. So they would have a label here. Label like there is of course sewn in, but you have to cut off after you put the label. There is always a price tag. There is always this tag. So you have to cut, remove them. But some people would purposely leave it on a jacket or on a coat, so everybody knows that it's Ralph Lauren, or now everybody knows that it's Tommy Hilfiger or some. I mean, it's not the most expensive brands, but compared to others, it is a brand, right? Okay. So it's very interesting question. We're going to explain. Are we allowed to view, right, to show off? Would this indicate hashkafa that we should not get close to? Okay, so there are many questions. So let's split it, answer like a separate questions. Okay, so from the beginning, I wonder what is the Torah perspective, luxury and brand product. So Torah perspective, so HaShem gave this person wealth, right? So for whatever reason, so if a person cannot dress like schmuck, like from the street, like he's homeless. No, he has to dress accordingly. So if for example he's a businessman, something like he's doing $1 million or $100 million contract, so he cannot wear the suit like from I don't know, regular department store. So it should be on a par, right? So people take him seriously. Like that's what they want, the outside world. So he can use it. But of course, it should not be show off, but it should be presentable, basically, right? Luxury products, okay. Luxury, of course, like if he needs, for example, this car. To impress other people, like when he arrives and he's I don't know, he's this top advisor or something, so he cannot drive like simple Toyota. from 1986. Right, so I was walking and I saw this BMW. Somebody, it's so old, it's so like beaten up, it's like so beautiful. Like I don't know how, maybe 30, 40 years old, rusty, this and that, but somebody still riding this car. I mean, it's still, I'm not sure air conditioner work, other things work, maybe not, but it still drives around. It's even from different states. It's very interesting. I mean, it's nice and cute, but if you want to do a business with somebody, like if your doctor comes to his hospital, this car, so people would be like afraid to deal with that person. Maybe he's a gambler, maybe he's like drug user or something. Like why he cannot buy? Like that's how people see him. So we have to, like, if HaShem gives you money, so you can buy little better things, but not too crazy. Okay. So that's first part of the answer. Even if people could afford them, it seems to indicate overindulgence in materialism and antithesis to humility. So nobody said that this rich people are humble, right? Of course. So if a person wants to be humble, so right, it's a totally different approach. So he has to like address very, very regularly. It's actually one of the things. I mean, I gave you just a small bits, some bits and pieces, but one of the way how a person develops this humility in himself is the way the mode of the dress. So it should be like very, very simple, right? Must be clean, must be like respectable, but very, very simple, not to stand out from other people. And then the second part is behavior. So, and these two things, we say that the person, like, even like he does not feel like this way, so he should not feel like he's a hypocrite. Even the HaShem said, "I hate hypocrites," right? Like him and I are not good. They cannot stand next to each other, right? But in this case, Ramchal explained to us that a person is not hypocrite. That's how you start working on the character traits, right? You're not trying to impress somebody. You're trying to work, as we said in Rambam, right? You try to repeat the same action again with the idea that it's going to become your character traits and be part of you. So even if you're not like that, if you're not this humble person, so at the end it should work out, right? And it starts with like an unassuming way of dress. So, but for a rich person, so because a Gentile or other people might start making fun of him. Oh, he's shopping in this store in Macy's. I shop at Macy's. So like, you serious? Like it's for like Macy's is like a store for what is it? Like middle class, middle class. I mean middle class to middle class and lower. So there are good brands, good quality, but not nothing. Of course, there are exceptions, but nothing like extraordinary, right? So it's okay, we shop in the same store. So maybe he's cheap, he's that, he's this. So if he's decided to already to show his status, that would be a problem. So he's a rich man, but he'll dress like he's a simpleton, right? That's also not simpleton, but simple person. Also a problem. So basically, right. But to be if nobody knows that person is rich, so he like keeps very low profile. That's yes, this person can be humble, but if it's known that he's not. He's not meaning that he's rich. So I mean, the humility goes out of the window basically. Right. So it's showing his thoughts. Correct. So next part of the question: are we allowed to view someone in a bit negative light if someone uses luxury brand with logos showing? I mean. So if it's if they add like I said on a jacket like or they put it somewhere logo showing is that's a little too much, or they have writing on them that's still too much. But if it's like small thing and it's good quality products, I guess there is no problem, right? So if a logo is showing, okay. But if a person wants to be humble, that's out of the question. All these things. Okay, so for example, I give you examples. So I bought myself jacket, right? This jacket, and it was good price. Everything is good material, good fabric. Everything is good. But one problem there is the buttons are too shiny. Like it's like some print. So what I did. So I mean that's too much for me. Everything is good, besides this button. So I bought buttons and just change the buttons to regular one, to plastic ones. Because it was too much. But other people when I was looking on internet, so buttons, right? So for a jacket, because you have small ones, here you have big ones, here's a big ones, like small. So you want to buy a set. So I saw all of this, the people, the whole business of buttons, with whatever I wanted to throw out, they actually sell for the top money. But with all of this prints, it's unbelievable. So why people want to show off different buttons? I don't know. The set were going for $20, $20 for buttons. Yeah, $20 for buttons. If you want to show off, well, yeah. So that's what you do. I bought myself all of this, I don't know how many buttons for a few dollars, basically. but that's what it is. Okay, so next, would this indicate hashkafa that we should not get close to? So basically, these people, they're into materialism, right? So when a person into materialism, most likely they're not into spirituality. It's whether one or another. Were the exception in our history? Absolutely, Yehuda Hanasi and all of these people. They say, Yehuda Hanasi and this, but I said that you shmendrik, you don't even keep it Shabbos. What Yehuda Hanasi? What Yehuda Hanasi? Or these people say we want to be. People don't need my approval, but some people say, but I can be a righteous Noachite. Say, be a righteous Noachite. What is the problem? Why you mean you need my approval? HaShem approved you as a Noachite. You born a Noachite, a Gentile. So stay like that. What do you mean? He said, I could be a righteous Noachite, for example, like Eov or Noach and others. For me, you normal, you compare you shmedek, you compare yourself to Noach, you compare yourself to Eov, and people do not understand the comparison. They say, if they're like this, I'm on the same level. You understand? So that's the problem. Right. So, but basically, somebody who is into materialism, they're not into spirituality. Are there exceptions? Yeah, but they're few and far in between. Right. So yes, that's a clear hashkafa. Right. Okay, thank you very much. Also, I wonder, so I continue with the same question, if there is a difference between men and women in this regard. It is normal for a woman to be like a little fancy schmancy, so she likes different things, but it would not show tell something wrong about her. If she wants some decorations and she had this headscarf and she wants to put a brooch on that side, there is no problem. That's let her have it. But when the guys start looking and some on this. High holidays, we had some guests coming. The boys, men, young fellows would dress too much. Whatever. They into this like skinny, not skinny jeans, like very tight pants, like all of these strange shorts or strange kippas, like I don't know, too much, and watch like this. I don't know what do you need to watch like that. Right, they into the dressing, into the styles, into all this frame. I don't know. I buy simple, not like I don't buy like cheap frame, good quality frame, but nothing like extraordinary design or something, because they cost a lot of money. But that you have to make sure that there is a designer showing that it's probably $1,000 frame. So you like. There is a statement basically. So for women, I would say it's more lenient, but for men it's like it's not men way, like over the years, like to dress differently, like to attract attention. That's if a man wants to attract attention, even though he's straight, but it's still tells a lot about hashkafa for sure, right? So, does a single man have to kindle an extra candle on the next Shabbos every time he forgets doing so as a woman? If so, what happens if he gets married? Does his wife now have to kindle the extra candle for him to die? It's an interesting question. So Halachah is it's very important for a woman to light Shabbos candles. So why? Because one of the explanations, one of the famous explanation, that in some sense when she gave Adam, the first man, to eat from the tree of knowledge, right? After she gave, right, so he was cursed that he would die, and he meaning the whole humanity is going to die. So the people were supposed to live forever, but because Adam, we're all destined to die, right? And Chava and all of these people who came after them, right? So meaning in some sense, so she extinguished the light of the world. Right? Giving him this fruit from a tree of knowledge. So meaning she extinguished it. So now she has to lit the candles. So that's why if a woman always, like if she's healthy or if she's sick, of course, men can light the candles. If she's like I don't know, like after the surgery or something, of course he can light the candles. But mainly it's a woman's responsibility. But it's a obligation to light a candle in a household, meaning she's the first choice. But if not, the guy who is single, he has to light, right? And but for her, since she extinguished this light of the world, right? I mean, because she descended from Chava, for sure. Chava is the one who gives life, right? So that's why she has, as a punishment, right, not to light the candles that she extinguished, or her. It says the woman's like Chava before her. So as a punishment, so she has to light one extra candle. And this one extra candle, for example, she would light 2. Now she lights 3. So always remind her. So it was before, because one time I screwed up. So I'm not going to do it again. I would be very, very careful. And with my time, especially in the winter, when the days are very short, so I'm going to light the candles on time. So that's the message. But since this reasoning do not apply to men, so if he forgot, so he forgot. That's it. So there is no punishment to him on him. So basically, there is no problem. Okay, so the next time he just continue lighting the same number of candles. So men also, there is no obligation for men to light only 2 candles. For example, he wants to light the candles for his brother, for his sister, for his mother that does not like. But, of course, but we have to be careful. Whatever number of candles we accept, that is going to be like this. Unless person says, you know what, bli neder. Now I have a job, I have a good parnasa, this and that, so I want to light the 7 candles for Moshe Rabbeinu's soul, and for Baal Shem Tov's soul, and for other people, my family, whatever, right? So he wants to to do that, there is no problem, right? But he has to say it's bli neder. But if he did not say bli neder, or he or she, and they start lighting, for example, extra candles, so they must continue. So now for everybody, like normal is 2, and for them is normal is whatever 5 or 6, whatever they accepted. The only like exception would be if they're traveling. So if they're traveling, they visiting somebody. So for example, they come to visit their 3 family, right? So all these women, they have a trays and they light their candles, and now like the tiny space, like counter space, like for this lady, she said, no, I need 7 candles, I need 19 candles. Like normal. So in this case, it's understandable if she would light only 2, so it's not going to be like a punishment held against her. And that's the very interesting halacha. Okay, so very interesting halacha. Okay, so next question. Korav, if a guy has a certain type of sensitive skin, which could get a certain rash or even aches when he grows a beard due to the heat, okay, sweat and the like, right? Would it then be a mitzvah for him to always wear his beard very short for the sake of not scratching on Shabbos and pull hairs, cause bleeding and so on? Okay, so let's read again. If a guy has a certain type of sensitive skin, which could get certain rash, okay, or even aches, if grows beards due to the heat, okay, no problem, sweat and the like, right? Would it then be a mitzvah for him to always wear his beard very short for the sake of not scratching on Shabbos and pull a hair, causing bleeding and so on? I mean, there is no mitzvah to wear a beard, period. The only mitzvah not to shave with a razor 5 places on the hand and on the face, and since we do not know exactly where the places are, so we don't shave up with a razor, period. But for example, for sure we know that the mustache is not one of the places. So can you shave mustache with a razor? I would not advise, but technically there is no problem, right? So it's like a person should not feel uncomfortable, right? Especially like on Shabbos, he's going to itchy, like it would be itchy, like it's not it's not a good idea. Suffer, right? Even not on Shabbos, that suffer from this. And I saw one guy, not in this shul, in different shul. I used to go, a younger fellow, and he's even though he was in yeshiva, I think all his life. I mean, younger, so not all his life. I mean, after high school, he went to learn, so he was continue learning, and he has like this bald patch. Why? Because he was like pulling the hair. Maybe when he was learning, or he was nervous or something, like he would pull hair. That's the problem for a person like that is it's better for him not to have beard. It's like because. He's doing awareness. That's the issue, especially it's done on Shabbos, big issue, right? So we have to be like smart with these things. So don't again. There is no such a mitzvah to wear a beard, but there is mitzvah not to shave with a razor. So and some people have like very like a beard. I don't know, like they shave with maybe number 4, number 5 on this trimmer. So and that's how they keep all year round. Okay, no problem. But always we can say bli neder. So I want to try, for example, if somebody want to try to wear the beard in the winter when it's not so hot. Right, no problem. You can try. Right. Okay. So next question. Question about shalom bayis. Okay, if wife's way of expressing that she's upset with the husband is looking at him with the watery eyes or even crying, would this cause a spiritual danger to him? Again, question about shalom bayis. if the wife's way is expressing that she is upset with your husband and looking at him with watery eyes, or even crying, would it cause a spiritual danger to him? And not even spiritual danger to him; it could cause physical danger to him, right? For upsetting his wife. So, she must understand that she's playing with fire. He can, Chas v'Shalom, be punished very much because of that. Right, but some people they use these tears to squeeze something out of the husband. Unfortunately, that's their approach. Right, so a woman cannot use their tears because there's a famous story in Gemara, when person was learning Torah, right, and he said to his wife, "Look, he would used to come at 7. He said, can I please stay till 8? Look, today he would come to lunch. Can I get till at 8 because it's very interesting sugya, and we're not going to finish by 7. She said, okay, still stay till 8, something like that. It's not a precise story, but very close. Right, the bottom line. So he forgot. They lost themselves, and they sugya, and he comes when he I understand it's deep at night, maybe 11 or midnight. So he started walking home, and guess what? The wife was so upset. She cried because she thought that something happened to him. She cried so much, he got so upset, so he died. Why did he die? Because he upset his wife. So how should you say? Look, the guy was doing the mitzvah. Right? What he went to to see the game or something? He went to movies? No, he was learning Torah, and with his action, did he do it purposely? Of course not. It was the last thing on his mind to upset his wife, and that was the outcome. So guess what? People who do the things dafka to upset their wife, and she would start crying. So they're playing with the fire, and the wife also must understand. So it's not only spiritual danger, but also physical danger to her husband. Right? Don't cry unless it's very, very necessary. Right? Good question. Okay, so next question. Thank you, Rav. In this case, the continuation. In this case, would it be better for her to yell at him than cry? What is the proper way to her to express her frustration and upset? So I think they can try to talk not calmly and understand. Shlomo HaMelech said that words that spoken softly penetrate the heart of the person. It was said about rebuke. Right, it was said about rebuke, but it says also here we're also talking about rebuke. Just because she's screaming, so many times, just so you know, when somebody is screaming at us, so we go into defense position. Doesn't matter. We try defend. Doesn't matter. We're right, not right. Nobody cares about the details at that point. You understand? So we care about not to be attacked, not to be wrong, not to be this, not to be that. So it's crying is the danger to him. Screaming is also not the best way to communicate. Most likely he's not going to listen. He's going to be maybe start screaming and yelling back. So how does it help? It's not going to help. So and one thing we have to understand what was the reason of this frustration. Was it really enough reasons or to get frustrated? Maybe not. Somebody asked me a question. A woman asked me a question. Doesn't matter what the question was, and she was very upset and stuff. And I don't know I don't know from where. HaShem saved me, and he sent me this idea. I would not for sure. It's from Shammai. All of the thoughts from Shammai, but that's what he decided to finally save me. Not finally, he saved me. So, and I said, but when you get married, it was different. She said, no, she's also like that. I said, but you told me you've been married for many years. Now you got upset. So yeah, now she decided that she's going to get upset because he's like that. You normal. Like he's been like this for 20 years. Did not bother you, or you contain yourself. Now you decided to get upset. He does not understand what you want from him, because he does not do anything different. He's I don't know, forgets. And it's not the case, but I'm just make an example. He when he goes to the bathroom, he forget to put down the seat. Okay, so but did it start only last month, or no? It was for the last 25 years. Now you complain. He does not understand what you want from you, and if you're going to yell at him, he's going to yell at you back. It's not going to work out. So we have to find some better solutions, basically. Okay. So next question. It's about marriage. If wife is a housewife, okay. How much time should the husband spend with the kids versus deep Torah study? When the kids are younger, should the mother majorly be in charge of teaching them Torah stories and Halachos? Right, that's a very good question. So again, a question about marriage. Wife is a housewife. Okay, so how much time should the husband spend with kids versus deep Torah studies? So, okay. So first of all, we have to understand if he's that type of the person who is going to the deep Torah study, right? It's very important. But education of the children, Torah education, it's actually on the father. It's not on the mother. Okay, so she does him a favor, but unless it's a real deep Torah study, so he has to spend time with kids, tell them the bedtime stories and educate them. Of course, she's most of the day that she's with kids, but he must. It's his responsibility. It's so much his responsibility that if he want to redelegate this to somebody else, to hire a teacher, he must pay. For sure, he must pay. So, like, you do it yourself. You take off from work, Mr. Father, or if you want somebody else, so pay him, right? Because that's his job, right? So his job, right? So father must be involved with kids as much as possible, unless he's learning Torah. So, how many people learn Torah? Some people do learn Torah. You understand? So. But otherwise, if he wants to relax, he came from work, okay. She also not exactly were in a vacation when she's with the 2 or 3 kids. It's more strenuous than him in his office, or even he's a bricklayer. So to be with the kids, they suck the energy out, right? So he has to give her some room to rest. Absolutely, some time to rest, right? But of course, since she, like a second part of the question, since she's with the kids, she must teach them, right? Next question about Torah study. I have been curious about the midrashim of the first few parashos of the Sefer Bereshis. Wonder if I could learn Me'am Loaz on this portion. I learned Me'am Loaz on this portion. All of the secrets that people think they're going to get from Midrash, they're not there. But you can learn. Okay. Since there seems to be more mystical things in this portion, is it proper for us to read it in this stage? I don't remember how did it say. I think it was Alexander the Great. I think it was Alexander the Great who asked our sages what was first, the darkness or light. I mean, it's a simple question, and sages told them. Guess what? It says the sages of the south told them that no human being knows. Right, and later on, the student said, "Look, rabbis, you serious? You did not." It's a simple question, and they answer him. These sages answer the students. Right, of course. I mean, if you know, of course we know. Right, so they They said some things it's better not to answer because it's going to provoke another answer, another question. And on that question, we don't want to explain because the people are not on that level. So that's half of the answer. So basically, on it's very very interesting, very mystical things. Most of them above our head, much much of it I would say, but it's some things we can understand. But we have to understand also one thing. So a person cannot always read only halacha. From halacha, I mean, people would fall asleep and they get bored. That's why we keep halacha under 1 hour, always, right? Because like a person cannot practice more. I mean, me personally, I can because I love this stuff. I can go further, but for other people, too much, right? But musar people can take for a long time, right? If it's hard musar, this Mislat Shirim, for example, it's not hard, but it's so much information on one page that you need room to process it. So basically, what I mean, so if you read more than 2 pages, that's too much. It's like too much information. Like it's not productive. That's what I'm trying to say. Maybe like 2-3 pages tops. It's so much going on. Sometimes we do 1 page, 1.5, not one, but 1.5 or something, right? But sometimes you want your mind just to chill, right? To cool down a little. Right, and you want to read some easy stuff. So and this even it's easy like midrashim and it's a little easier, right? But it's still Torah. So I always recommend people to read midrashim, right? Even stories, not stories, but compilation of musar texts, like whatever we did on Hashanah Rabbah. Like is it musar? It's halacha combination. It's very powerful stuff. Right. So again, there is no problem to read Me'am Loaz. So it's Me'am Loaz is made more like more on a medrash style, like without the back and forth. So if you buy Medrash Rabbah, that's a different story. Medrash Rabbah would go like back and forth. It's like a Talmud style. Right, so it's something that it's actually went became part of the Talmud. Some of them not. So, but the style is exactly the same. So it would be not like a little too much for many people. Medrash Rabbah. Okay, but Me'am Loaz it's much simpler reading. So next question. For a hypothetical question about Teshuvah. If man was fooled by Yetzer Hara and did surgery to change the gender, God forbid, how can he do teshuvah for it if he allowed to get married, given his physically change permanently? If he spends the rest of his life to do teshuvah and learn Torah, would he be healed completely physically when Mashiach arrives? A very unexpected question there. Okay, so but let's split it in a few parts. Okay, hypothetical question about Teshuvah. If man was full of Yetzer Hara and did the surgery, they change the gender, God forbid. How can he do Teshuvah? So I mean, to change the gender or do some other mutilation to the body. So I mean, are they going to grow back these parts? No, they're not going to grow back. Right, but as with all of these other sins, right? These sins he did to himself, right? I mean, I think in my mind, it's actually easy to fix, like spiritually, than when person wrong somebody else. Like between 2 people, it's much harder. Between him and HaShem, this is in a category of sins between man and God. So it's much easier because he does not need anybody's approval, anybody's agreement. So he does teshuvah for everything else, right? Is he allowed to get married when he's physically changed? No, I think if he's physically changed, so he's not allowed to get married. right? So for what he's going to get married, right? It's actually said in the Torah, if somebody is severed organ, so he's not allowed to get um, to marry Bas Israel. So we have to. I don't know. I never learned this halacha. Like I only read the commentary. I learned the commentary, but I never learned the halacha of this. Never got to it. So it's very interesting what our sages say. For example, if she's so women are not obligated to marry, right? According to majority of the opinion. Yeah, it's so that's why we have to thank them very much if they decided to marry us and decide to have kids. That's why HaShem sent these women this this need for children. Otherwise, like man goes to work, he lives a good life, and women not, and like they get stuck with kids, right? So that's why HaShem like put in their mind these these feelings toward the kids. But if she so technically, like if since woman is not obligated to get married, can she marry this man? Technically, maybe yes. I don't know. We have to check halakha. I'm not 100% sure. But in Torah, straightforward explanation, like a straightforward psukim, it says cannot. But we have to see the final halakha because we don't learn the halakha, the bottom law, like from psukim themselves. All right. So can he do teshuva? 100%. Can he get married? We have to check. I'm not sure. I think yes, but we have to check. If he spent the rest of the life to do teshuva and learn, would he be healed completely when Mashiach arrives? That's a good question. That's a very good question. I guess if he dies before that time and then resurrected, yeah, I think he would resurrect as a completely healthy person, as it says about all other people who are going to resurrect, because the people who died in an old age, for example, right? When they died when they were sick, this sick, that thing sick. So, but if they're going to be resurrected like that, who needs that? You understand? So again, suffering. So yes, that's how sages explain. When the people are going to resurrect, they're going to resurrect in the perfect health, right? So same, I guess, it would be with that person. So he's going to be resurrected in a perfect health if he did teshuva. Right. So what else on this question? I think that's it. So next question. A question about saying kaddish. Wonder if one is allowed to say kaddish for someone wicked, for example, causing others to sin, or not shomer Shabbos. For this have a spiritual effect on the one who says kaddish for them. Okay. So that's a very good question. So again, a question about saying kaddish. Okay. Wonder if one is allowed to say kaddish about someone wicked, causing others to sin, or a non-shomer Shabbos. So I tell you like that. If this it's usually not proper for a person to say kaddish for someone unknown to him or not related. Person has 7 relatives for which he is obligated to say kaddish. But if person is older, for example, he does not have parents alive, so he can so he can say kaddish technically, but proper not to, because it can give other people wrong impression, right? That he's saying actually kaddish for somebody close to him. For example, his parents died, right? But he has sister, he has wife, he has children, right? And if he's now going to start saying kaddish, maybe people will assume, oh, do you know why saying kaddish? Oh, maybe his wife died. Psh, poor guy. So now that he gives the impression that his wife died, right? So that's why it's not proper to say kaddish. If, for example, one person is alive, for example, father passed away, mother is alive, so you cannot just say in kaddish. You have to go to your mother and ask her permission. So mother, my great uncle died, so do you mind if I say kaddish? She said, she might say, no, I don't want you to say kaddish. And somebody just said in the shul, so his son wanted to say kaddish, and he's a learned man, guy, I mean, in his early 20s. So he came to his father, and father said, no, I don't want you to say kaddish. You all right, let somebody else. I'm not sure who died, and I'm not sure who, why did this young fellow wanted to say kaddish? Maybe somebody asked him because he's a righteous person. It's proper when somebody righteous say kaddish, but in some cases they would allow that in the Shiva Bochurim, it's like for a mitzvah, this and that, but only if parents agree. Otherwise, we don't go against the parents, and we will like you're attracting yourself bad luck, right? So like you say, for somebody else, that you might be obligated. So even older people, they try not. Usually rabbis do, rabbi of the community, because it is normal, it's understandable that people would come to him, and for example, a lady lost her husband and they have only daughters, for example, or son who is apicorus, he's not going to say kaddish, so she would come to rabbi and ask him to say, but those are exceptions. So me personally, I would say kaddish on the yard sides, because I know on the yard sides, I know it's understandable. My mother would not mind, but otherwise, people ask me, could you say? So I'll find somebody else, right? Like one time, the guy that we learned with, he was saying, I don't remember for whom, and he would call me, he would say, I cannot make for mincha, can you say kaddish? So for a one-time basis, yes, but otherwise not a good idea, especially for this wicked person who's a sinner. This kaddish is going to help him, not so much. But if it's a son and he's obligated, that's a different story. So even if his father was not Shomer Shabbos, yes, so that's what would be proper for him anyway to say kaddish. He is Machti Arabim. Also, it would be proper if he wants, right? Also to say kaddish for him. So Shomer Shabbos is easier, but somebody who caused masses to sin is much harsher, of course. Okay, what is this spiritual effect on the one who say kaddish? I don't think so. Spiritual effect, what a spiritual effect works? Spiritual effect works when, one example, it's not like I'm a big expert, but one example I should know. When people want to name a person, a baby, in honor of some wicked relative, right? They say your grandfather Yitzchak. Yeah, my grandfather Yitzchak was not Shomer Shabbos. I say, that doesn't matter. He was right. He was very nice. He would give tzedakah. He did this and that. He gave you the birth. Okay, but don't name your son after this Yitzchak. Why? Because if you explicitly name your son, for example, after this great father, grand uncle, whatever Yitzchak, guess what? That soul might come into your son, and he's going to be like that. So it's rebellious son. So don't name your children after the wicked person, because sometimes if you have a specific person in mind, the soul spirituality can come into that person. Right? That's right. And then plus, a person's still alive, so that's not proper. Okay, so next question. Rav Yavamos 63b states, a man finds a peace of mind only with his first wife. As it stated, let your fountain be blessed and have joy from your wife. Could Rav please expound on this issue? I mean, we have to see the commentary to that. So, but basically, it says when woman is divorced, right, and somebody marries divorced woman. Okay, so I think it's from Talmud Brachas. So he has to expect there are three in a bed. Okay, It's me and my wife, new wife. Yeah, it's you and your wife and her first husband, because she's thinking about him, and HaShem gave create this special attachment of woman to her first man, right, with whom she was virginity. And so, if she good, not good, it doesn't matter. But she's still a special attachment. She feels the special attachment. So, meaning if they get married, so this only and men also. She likes. She always think about his first woman, right? So if it's her first wife, right? So first wife. If it's his wife, so that's amazing. They have a very very strong bonds to each other. If not, it could be problematic. Right. Maybe yes, maybe not. People work on themselves, but that's I think is the is explanation. So it's a special. So men. That's why it says man is not allowed to live on the same alleyway with his ex-wife. So what is the alleyway? So alleyway is like it's not a big street, but like a medium-sized street. Why? Why? Because if they meet and they meet each other one day, and he had an argument with his wife, and her husband said something, or she's not married, guess what? Something might happen, right? So we have to stay away. Why? Even if they have been a divorce, doesn't matter. So this link, this memory, this attachment stays with him and his first wife, right? That's the issue. So we have to be very careful about it. Okay, so next question about Shalom Bayis. If it bothers the wife, is that man allowed to trim his body hair? If it bothers the wife, okay. If it bothers the wife, is man allowed? Okay. Got it. I apologize. Okay. If it bothers the wife, is a man allowed to trim his body hair? Okay. If the body hair bothers the husband, if the wife obligated to treat her hair. Okay, that's a very interesting question. It's actually his exception. But before we go into exception, let's go into the rules. Okay, so again, the question about Shalom Bayis. If it bothers the wife, if man is allowed to trim his body hair, yes. If it bothers the wife, man is allowed to treat the body hair. That's the bottom line Halachah. But many times today, the men, they do not ask the wife, and they say, "Yeah, I do it for my wife." But they are like into their beauty. The men into their beauty, and they do for themselves. You understand? A wife that does not care usually. If she's so particular, there is no problem. But many women not particular. They don't mind the body hair. If she minds, if it bothers her, no problem. But many times men would do without even asking their wife, because they pretend that that's what she wants. Right. So in this case, it's not allowed. Right, to remove some hairs. Why? Because pubic hairs and under pits hairs are not allowed to remove. Because that's a woman thing. But if he wants to remove the hair on his chest, on his back, on his legs, technically allowed. But sages were not very happy about it. But technically allowed. There is a okay. So because it's two issues. So there is under pits hairs and other hairs, like not to be like a woman. That's what women, all of them do. Not all of them do. Most of them do, right? At least under pits hair, right? So don't go in the way of the woman. And today it's like don't go in the way of the nations. So that's what the nations do, right? Other men do. Okay. So next question: if the body hair bothers the husband, is a woman obligated to treat her hair? So especially in the face, if it's bothering her husband, yes, she should treat this hair. And it's like as we said before, even during the 3 weeks 3 weeks, right? Man is not allowed to shave, but women would be allowed to, if she shave, if she uses the cream, whatever she does, to remove this body hair. There is no problem. It's proper for her. Like some men, like they even like women forget to remove the hair. They can get like I don't want to say they disgusted, but like I don't know. Something like that. So I mean, it's not worth it for a woman to risk and see how he's going to react. Okay, so right, so that's why for women it's much more lenient, and they can shave, like for example, underpits even these 3 weeks. So there is no problem. There is no problem. Okay, so next question. Rav, how much is a guy allowed to think about a person he's in shidduch process with? I'm thinking of Yaakov Avinu, who out of the thought one day married Rachel. The 70 years worked for him, passed like a few days. Very good question. Was he in reality thinking these 7 years about finally pleasing HaShem, but fulfill the mitzvah of getting married and having children? So that's a very good question. That's very, very good question. So let's read from the beginning. We're going to explain. So there is continuation. One verse is missing actually from here. We're going to read it. So it says how much a guy is allowed to think about the person he's in the shidduch process with. Okay. So if it's not decided, it's very important not to overthink. Why? Because in his mind he's already married to her, right? And like all of these things, like all of them that might be deficiencies in her, even in hashkafa, even in health, that he would not agree otherwise, unless he would think so much about her. So it could like cloud his mind. That's the problem. That's the problem. So usually the person has to have clear mind. Man has to have clear mind and make right decision, right? But if that's why we always say we don't recommend to meet unless you look at the paper, and according to paper, like all the question you ask the correct question, whatever you need to ask, and it looks more or less okay, like acceptable. There is no like huge red flags, right? So of course you have to continue checking and investigating, but no big red flags. Then you meet. But if you like meet like right away, so like men and women also like can have this physical thoughts, and they forget about spirituality. They can forget about like I have to check like if ask him if he has this in his family, that in her family, right? So that's the issue, right? So don't think too much, right? When you decided to get married, so it's proper to get married as soon as possible, not to delay 1 day even. So I mean, if you need for preparation 2 weeks, so take 2 weeks. That's it. Don't take like this guy in a shul. I remember he announced his son is getting married. So and it was, I think maybe it's February, March. It was before Pesach. I think it was before Pesach because his father died on Pesach, I think. Right, so it was before Pesach, and he's getting married in December. So I mean, they announced everything commercial, like getting ready in December. It's like 9 months from now. You serious? Like, yeah, that's what they do. It's absolutely not proper. Of course, they had some calculations, some things that we don't know, but it's not like he was underage. He was in his early 20s, like. It's proper to marry right away. Why would you wait? So and then we talk Rachel Yaakov Avinu. So he said that a few days were like right these 7 years like few days in my eyes. Was he really thinking the 7 years to pleasing HaShem? Right. So meaning he was ready to do the mitzvah. And the line it says if you don't read the commentary, it's like, what is it? It's like a normal. It's a Torah speaking in this way. Yaakov win. That's how Yaakov win. So he said to Laman, okay, so the 7 years expired. The term is expired. Please bring me my wife so I can consort with her. That's how tzaddik speaks. That of course he's going to have relations to consummate the marriage. It's understandable, but to speak to the father of the bride you normal. That's not what tzaddikim is supposed to speak, right? But our sages explain. You can look up rash, others commentary. They explain. No, that's. He said, the only reason why I'm married, I mean, of course, she's a beautiful woman, I love her, but it's a secondary, but the primary reason, because I know that 12 tribes have to come from me. So I want to start this mitzvah as early as possible. I don't remember how old was he. He's 80, maybe 86 or 76, I don't remember. But he was in not youngster when he got married. Okay, so that's why he spoke to that. Yeah, so he's of course he was a mitzvah-oriented person. Plus do it with a good partner. Okay, so next question, would it be counterproductive if the guy would be the one getting watery eyes or crying a little if the wife yells at him instead of sucking up like a real man? Okay, if he has the soft tendency, okay, how can he learn to react in a much more masculine way and not to get his wife scared by showing that what could be interpreted as emotional instability? So that's a very good question. 1 second. Shut it off. Okay. So that's a very good question. So before that, we had a question about if a woman is upset, should she cry a little to show that she's not upset? Okay. So now we're talking about will it be counterproductive guy going to cry? Watery eyes. I mean, I would say it depends on the woman. If she's if she understands that she's hurting him and she's a very soft personality, and she would be very, very compassionate. So it's actually she should start yelling. So I guess it depends on the personality. It's not like if the husband and wife, most likely they know each other. It's not like it would be surprised and shocked that he's react like that. The way I see it. So we have to see. Try and see how she's going to react. Cry a little if the wife yells at him or sucking like a real man. I don't know. We're not sure what a real man. Some people would describe a real man that they will yell back and maybe slap you around a few times, maybe throw you out from the balcony, something right, real man. So maybe trying to find the peace in the family, basically, whatever works. If she's very impulsive person and she said so she got the point. He's very upset. Okay, so she would stop. Right, so it's a try and error, right? Try and see how it works. So if he has the soft tendency, how can he learn to react in a much more masculine way? I mean, masculine way, and not get his wife scared. So scary, I don't think so. My point was, I don't think she's going to get scared, but because she knows him. Right, so we'll see how she's going to react on his watery eyes. Okay. So women, they usually have a very, very soft heart, So it's like a child. So she's ready. The mother is ready to hit the child like smack him to the ground. And now he start crying and with this puppy eyes. And the mother will already forget. Father not so fast, but mother usually she forgets and she starts like apologize to the child. Okay, so maybe this is a good approach. Okay. So the next question. Perhaps since a woman is allowed to ask for a non-Jew to kindle Shabbos candles for her during Beis HaShem in case she forgot, but she would make no blessing. In this case, could one infer that the kindling of the candles is more important than the blessing itself? Okay, so again the question. Since a woman is allowed to ask a non-Jew to kindle the candle on Shabbos, so this period of Bein Hashemashos, so it's like from the sunset until the complete darkness. So it's questionable whether it's day or night. Since it is questionable, and since it is probably a person would violate possibly violate the biblical prohibition, so we treat it stringently, and we don't do ourselves any melachos. But our sages say, like in some things, in case of great necessity, the person would be upset, so upset very much, or lose something. So they would allow to ask a non-Jew. There are a few exceptions. One of the exceptions, kindling the Shabbos candle. Of course, she cannot say the blessing on the kindle, she cannot say the blessing because it's too late. Basically, for cure, it's too late. So, but for illumination, there is no problem, and for shalom bayis, it's also not a problem. Okay, I mean it's good. If a man is going to come from shul and see the candles are not lit, he can get a little upset. Okay, so that's why we can ask non-Jew. So the most important thing in a performance of the mitzvah is the mitzvah itself. It's not the blessing. Blessing is most of the mitzvahs that we do are biblical, right? Not all, but biblical or rabbinical. But blessing, all of them, rabbinical, all of them, except Birchas Hamazon, maybe some other thing, but most of them are rabbinical. It's one of the 7 mitzvahs, right? That Rabbi said to say the blessing before performing mitzvah. Okay. Right. So 2 different mitzvahs. One is to perform the mitzvah, and another mitzvah to say the blessing. So if you can do one, so you do one. Right. So that's it. So and after the fact, there was mitzvah perform. I'm sorry, 100%. Okay. So let's do next question. We have a question about resurrecting of the dead. I wonder if a righteous widow who remarried, when the resurrection of the dead comes, would her first husband be single, since she gets her ksuba and married another man? After resurrection, do converts need should call Avram Avinu and Sarah Imeinu Abba in Ima? Should be respectful for one to refer to them as such? Okay, so let's read from the beginning. Question about the resurrection of the dead. I wonder if the righteous widow who remarried when the resurrection of the dead comes, would her husband be single, since she gets the ksuba and married another? So that's very, very good question. So the right 100 precise answer to this question is I don't know. It's a very good question. But the way I understand, general approach to the whole idea that HaShem is going to make she is going to, one part of this woman is going to marry to this guy, another part would be married to that guy. So I'm not sure has it how HaShem is going to implement it, but for sure. So they people are going to be resurrected into the best soul, maybe combination of the soul. I'm not 100% sure. So meaning out of 6 times they've been into this world, the fourth one was the best one. So the person is going to the soul is going to be resurrected in that one, right? So that's the story. And same in this couple. Maybe they're going to be resurrected with a different. Just because she's righteous does not mean that it was a perfect marriage, and it was perfect marriage, and it was his perfect carnation. So there's many variables. So in the second verse, after resurrection, to converse, I should call Abraham Avinu Sarah Abba and Ima. I'm not sure. Maybe, but I mean, it's not like they like. I mean, they're not the physical; they're spiritual parents. Okay. So let's see. So another few questions. Rav, is it problematic if cook from a kosher daily restaurant is an idol worshipper and listen to Christian music very loud while cooking kosher food? Should we try to perform a deep investigation in order to perhaps expose the kosher daily that we have serious suspicion they're messianic? Wow. Okay. So let's do from the beginning. It's problematic for if the cook from the kosher daily restaurant/restaurants is an idol worshiper. So if he's a non-Jew, there is no problem. If he's a Christian, again, if he's wearing a cross, there is no problem, right? Many of them wearing a cross, and somebody asked me about his mother that she died. So I asked him, was she like a Christian or just traditional? So traditional meaning that she was raised like that. So they raised like that, meaning that she knows, like on Sunday she goes to church. There's holidays like this, but did she believe in Yoshkin? Was she a missionary? No, right? Like the traditional. So the different story. So these people can work for us. There is no problem. The problem is, as the person is saying, that he listened to Christian music. That's too much. Christian. When I say Christian music, I don't mean like secular music. There is the church music, and why I don't meet this person? Now I remember. I used to go to shul on Shabbos with intention that I'm going to start Psuki de Zimra, stay in the Psuki de Zimra like 20 minutes, 25 minutes. That's what I need. So in advance, and I would always meet this black lady by this bus stop. I have to pass the bus stop in the morning, Shabbos morning, and she would have this speaker, that small speaker, but very loud, and she would play this church music while waiting for a bus. She would stand a little aside from people. It's very loud. Everybody I always wanted to ask her, have you heard about the invention of the headphones? But she was in everybody's about Yoshke, all of this church music, and she would try to look at me and my reaction. I never do anything. Eye contact, but with the side vision, of course, I see that people are looking at me. So all right, but it was like a davka. She I remember the text. So I mean, in regular days, I would have my headphones, so I would most likely not listen. But here, I don't remember what was the text about. But it was about Yoshke being God, and so you would not have any doubt about it. That's church music, right? So of course it would be problematic if somebody in a kosher daily would play something like that. Okay, if he wants to have headphones and play whatever he wants, he can learn some kosher things. I don't know. So listen to the instrumental music. I don't know, the classic music. I don't know, some jazz. I don't know, whatever. Right, so there's no problem. So we do not care. But when he listens like out, like very loud, that should be problematic. So I think before doing that, we have to ask these people, like if we patronize this place, where we can ask them. So that this bothered me. This means this guy that they're cooking, I like why he would do that. And if they say no, it's not a problem, we have one God, like and from the question, you would decide what to do, right? So from the answer, I mean. So before like exposing anybody, like because we don't know anything, so we have to talk to them. Okay, so let's do one more question. So it's like a follow up on the question about the shidduch. If a guy should think about too much, a lot of his future wife. Okay, so we said just get married and don't need to think about it. So, but as I said, it's 9 months delay. And so somebody also asked me, yes, but his grandmother, like she's going to come, and she also comes in that season. This is like I said. You working here? Are you marrying his grandmother, or you marrying the guy? Like you normal. Forget about his guy. I mean, of course, she's going to get up. So let buy her ticket, like plane ticket. She's in different place. Okay, right. So okay. So continue. So would it be less? Let's say not that bad in double quotes, if the guy would be eager to consummate the relationship quickly, not because he wants to have relationships, but he's so eager to have children. I mean, it's a good thing but do not tell to a woman, because she's going to take it to heart and she would not want to have these relations, right? Oh, it's not because of me, it's because of the children. Like what am I, a baby oven? So they tell me like in comment, what are your women are baby ovens? That's what they are. Okay, so that's don't tell here basically. Is it bad for a guy to be almost eager to have his own children as he's getting married? I mean that's proper. That's to his own children that he's going to like. Hopefully, he's going to have a sons to teach them Torah, or a proper like kosher like girls. Maybe they're going to marry Talmidei Chachamim and be amazing wives. That's also that's a good thing. But just to have children because they're my children, they're going to resemble me. They're going to have my last name. That's problematic. But if he's going to tell his wife that I'm marrying you because of I want to have children, so most women did not take it right way. I don't think so. So just some things we can say, but many things just keep quiet. I don't announce. Even though that's what Yaakov Avinu meant, 100%, and we hold him the highest esteem, because he said, look. I was all of this 86 years. I think it was 86. So I was all of this busy with other things, but now I want to get married. That's it. So I worked 7 years, bring me my wife, and we get married. Okay, that's a session. All right, no problem. So let's stop here. So I wish you good Chodesh. So like Friday and Saturday Rosh Chodesh. So we have to add all of these extra things. We have to add Halal, and we also add Musaf. So the Shabbos prayer also is going to be a little longer, because we bring the second Sefer Torah to read for Rosh Chodesh, right? All beautiful things. All right, so thank you very much for learning with us, and good Shabbos and good Chodesh, and until next week, same time next week. Thank you and good night. So just be mindful, because we change in time. In the States, we change in time. This Shabbos, this Motzei Shabbos. Okay, right. So by you it could be early. All right, thank you.